Hello? Hello?
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. All right. Well, you're the first one here. I don't know where everybody else is, but we'll wait for a little while and before we start.
Okay.
So, how do you say your name?
Oh, come on.
Say that again.
Come on.
Camille.
Come on.
Kamal?
Yes.
Kamal. Okay. A-L. Okay. Kamal. Well, good. Are you from around this area?
I'm from Alexandria.
Alexandria. Oh, yeah. Up near DC.
Mm.
Good. So what year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. Very good. You play basketball?
Yes, I do.
What position?
I play small forward.
Okay. Who's your favorite player?
I like LeBron.
Oh, gosh, he's so good.
Yeah.
I'm a Curry fan, so
Oh,
I like Steph. But I like LeBron too. I mean, I don't have any problem with him. I like KD as well.
well, yeah.
Yeah. I was so I guess who was it? The Bucks came back last night and won a game.
Yeah, they played pretty dominant last night. Yeah.
Yeah. They lost the first two though. I was
Mhm.
surprised. I thought they'd be stronger. But they came out last night and played, so
Yeah, Giannis was. Yeah, he was not going to lose.
41 points. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. All right, let's see if we got anybody else here. No, we don't. So it's 2 minutes after. Let's go ahead and start. Were you here the last time we met?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I don't know where everybody else is. Maybe I know I told them they didn't have to come, so
Yeah.
they don't want. So did you do all your work, your homework and your active work? Okay, how was it? Was it clear and did you understand it? All right. Any questions you have at all?
Oh no, it was completely. I understood it completely.
Okay, good. Oh, here comes somebody else, Shelby. We'll let her in. I'm going to just go over a couple of a little bit of the lectures just quickly, just to kind of give you a highlight of those. And let me see if I can find them here. Hey, Shelby. I can't hear you.
Hello.
How are you?
All right, I guess.
Not good?
I
Oh,
can't really say much.
okay. All right. Well, we're glad you're here. You don't have to say anything. This is all volunteer. If you want to be here, you can. If you don't have to. But we're glad you're here. And I like to see people that are here. I was just telling Kamal, is that right? Kamal? Okay. That hardly nobody else is here. So it's just the three of us. So it's not even a group, really. It's sort of a group, kind of, I guess, three of us. But I was going to just go over briefly the PowerPoints. I just sent them out. And I guess you have to download them first before you can see them. But at any rate, let me get them here. So give me 1 second to find them. And got them on my computer here somewhere. Did either one of you didn't have any questions or anything? It was pretty clear. Did you do all the assignments?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. If you didn't, just let me know and we'll talk about it. Okay, so let me go over. I went over one last time, part of it. Let me go over two. I really like this section. It's about books, of course, the second chapter. You read that last week. And what's great about this is one I wanted to show you. See where that circle is right there? That is really close. I visited this place and actually saw this when I was in Spain one year when I was presenting at a conference. It's a cave painting, one of the earliest of cave engravings, paintings. It's in, you go into these caves in Spain way back in, and then it opens up, and then you see these paintings on the walls. So these are paintings on the wall. And you had this, I guess it's a bull or something like that, between 40,000 and 14,000 years ago. They're not really sure when it is. One of the first cave paintings acknowledged as a meaning of the Stone Age. So, and that was in Spain. I think they have some in France too, but I didn't go to the ones in France. I only went to the ones in Spain, although I did fly into Paris when I did it. But anyway, so that's why I kind of have that there, because just to talk about the earliest form of mass communication, this is it. And one of the interesting things about this is that this is so old. Now, what is the problem with this? It can't move. You got to go to Spain and crawl back into a cave, and then you kind of get the light in there and you go, oh yeah, there it is. But it doesn't move. So it's mass communication, but it's a different kind of mass communication. So now think of how we can communicate today with the internet and with video and television and all that sort of stuff. We can see something. We could, like the game this weekend, the soccer game between Italy and England. We saw that as it happened. But 100 years ago, you wouldn't get to see that. All that has been created. So the mass media is really changing. And this kind of mass, they had mass media back there, but one of the things you have to ask about mass media is time and place. Mass media, every medium, whether it's internet, television, radio, writing, books, magazines, newspapers, other kinds of forms of media, you have to ask, how fast can it travel? And then you have to ask time and place. And then where is it? Can it be seen everywhere or only in some places? And certainly this is a good example of only one place. You got to go there. It's now the positive thing about this, we still have it. Think about how many emails you get with people or things on your web page, your social media, and it's gone. You know, you have it and oops, and there it's gone. But this is permanent. I mean, it, you know, nothing's ever totally permanent, but it's, you know, 14,000 at the very minimum, 14,000 years old. So that's pretty old, and it's really there. Unlike a lot of the media today, that's very ephemeral, very, it's here and then it's gone. Okay, so books went through a whole process. And I like looking at this because I actually have, I was in Egypt about 4 years ago, and I got this really beautiful drawing, but also they have in the Egyptian alphabet, well, they don't have an alphabet, they have these kinds of pictures, kinds of symbols. And it has some of that on this papyrus. Now, do you know what papyrus is? Have you heard that before? Papyrus is a form of vegetation that grows in Egypt. And they actually harvest it, put it in water, stretch it out, lay it out, and then it's kind of like paper. And then, but it's not as nice as the paper we have today. But it allows you to draw pictures or to write, and look at how the writing is, not like A, B, C, D, but look, it looks like you have a duck here, and then you have a person there and a bull there. You know, so they have these different symbols. Looks like there is a snake. And so it's very pictorial in that sense. And I have that actually in my living room. I should have brought it in here and showed it to you, but we don't have time. And this shows you what it is. So papyrus was found in what they call Mesopotamia, that area in Egypt, and it was they first experimented with these pictorial symbols and hieroglyphics and graphics and alphabets. And so I have an example of that in my house, made out of papyrus. They still can make it today. It's very time consuming, and it's a lot easier to use paper because they make that in bulk, as all of you know. And now we don't even use paper, do we? A lot of the ebooks are poof. Hey, did you, how was that assignment, comparing an ebook to a paper book? Was that useful?
Yeah, for me, yeah, it was.
It was? Okay, good. So it's just important for me to know if these assignments are helpful to you, because they are different. I like a paper book, but when I travel, I use an ebook because I used to teach a class at Oxford, and I'd have assign about 11 books to the class. It was a doctoral class. And so I had to carry a suitcase of books and a suitcase of clothes. And I got really tired of that because I usually went to other countries too when I went on that trip. And carrying a big old luggage of books is not fun. So then I got one of these iPads, and I can carry 20 books or 100 or whatever the number is that I need right on one iPad. And so that's an advantage to that. But in all honesty, what I prefer, because of my age, I'm older than you guys, I just prefer to have, good old hard or soft copy of books. And see, I mark books up. Where is it here? I mean, I have red and yellow pen. Wherever I go in my pocket, I always have a red and yellow pen. And I'm really careful about this. Is a pen that doesn't bleed very easily. But if it does bleed, you ruin your shirt or your pants or whatever you have it in. And this, I really like this because I'm highlighting and I don't want to take the cap off and put it on and then take it off. So I do that just like a regular pen and highlight it. So I pay extra for those, but these really help me because almost all my books, here's a book I just finished. Let me show it to you. This is a fairly new book, a 2020, I believe, or is it 21? 2020. But I'm going to just show you. If I open it up randomly to a page, there's another page. That page, not as much. Actually, that's the footnotes, and I even read the footnotes. You get the idea, and I really like that. So that's an advantage for me. All right. So the key thing for you is time and place. How quickly can you move that media from one place to another, or can you? And how and that sort of thing. And then second, place, and then time. Well, time is how quickly. Place is, can you even do it? Is it movable? And it used to be, up until about 100 years ago, something could only move, mass media could only, because everything was writing. So it was either books or papyrus, or even before then they had stone they used to chisel in and stuff like that. But you couldn't move that information any faster than the person could run, or a horse could run, or a ship could sail. So you were really confined. But one of the things about today is that we're not confined. And we have these different kinds of books, and you can see they used to be very beautiful and decorative and artistic on these parchments, or what they call codex. Romans created sheets of parchment and sewed them together, and that was called a codex. And those are the earlier precursors of books. And then they had the printing press, which is Gutenberg. Where is he? I have him somewhere. This is one of the most beautiful parchments. It's of the Bible, and this was done in Scotland, a little island there called Iona, and is actually, you can see it, how beautiful these. And it's not the only one, but there's a lot of places. There's a Book of Kells. It's in a museum now in a university in Ireland, because it was the Irish that went to Scotland, and then the Catholics, and then brought Christianity to Scotland. It is very, very interesting. Block printing, you'll all have heard about that. And then, of course, the great invention in 1456, some are not sure exactly the time, but 1450s, 56 as good as any. They have Gutenberg's press. Now, presses were around before then, but they didn't have movable type. And movable type meant you could move the words, the letters around to form new words and then publish them. And it still took a long time to do, but it was a lot faster. And now, of course, we have these big press and we got a glut of books and paper and information. You know, a lot of classes, graduate classes, you have several books. So you have this kind of book compared to this kind of book. And now these books, by the way, these books are really nicer when you're riding on a plane, because when you're on a plane, usually sometimes you fly at night and people want the lights out, but you can have one of those electronic Kindle or iPad or something like that, and you can see because they're backlit. And so that's, at any rate, those are just some of the ideas of books. One of the things that is happening now is that the whole idea of, because of Amazon and online books and online information, paperback books are kind of dwindling. But what's happening is there's now this community idea to it. So they have these independent bookstores that have couches and coffee and that kind of stuff. So you can go grab a book, see if you really like it, and sit there and read, maybe talk to somebody. And can you, by the way, are you seeing what I'm, I didn't do that, did I? I'm talking like I shared my screen with you, but I didn't. There we go. Can you see that now? Independent bookstore?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I apologize for that. I thought I was sharing my screen with you, but I wasn't. I want to show you this, go back to what I was talking about in Spain. And this is the thing that I saw that I was pointing at. I guess you could have been following me on the PowerPoint that I sent you, but, and then this is what the papyrus looks like. And it's a labor-intensive process, but that's what the different figures were looking like. And it was on parchment, and this is a codex. Why is it a codex? Because it was sewn together. And the Book of Kells, this was Columbia who did it. Here's the Book of Kells. You can see how elegantly it was illustrated. So it was a book of writing, but they had illustrations that were just, and then block printing was very, now the problem with block printing is that you had to carve one block, and if you mess it up halfway through, then you got to throw the whole thing away. And so block printing, though, was very much an art and absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, this isn't, you need the printing press so that you can just make a few alphabet copies of the alphabet and then put them in and make words and print those out. Printing press really changed everything, just as the internet now and the electronic. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this. Any questions about books? That was last week. Let me see if we can come into this week. Yeah, this week we have newspapers. And I'll let you look at this and we can talk a little bit about it, but just let me point out one thing, and I will share the screen again. Can you see that? Can you? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Nellie Bly her real name was Elizabeth Pink Cochran. She was a pioneer of investigative journalism. And so here you have a woman that was very, very strong in publishing and in reporting the news. And she actually had herself admitted to an insane asylum so she could investigate the treatment of the patients there. So she did that was one of the first times anybody ever did anything like that. And that happened in New York. And she worked for Joseph, after she did that and wrote that, she worked for Joseph Pulitzer. And you can see the whole development of the newspaper, and I talk a little bit about that. Make sure you learn about yellow journalism and what that is and why that's important. I'm not going to go through everything, but you just get an idea Now, what's the journalism like today? Newspapers are going down. Do you see this? Actual physical newspapers are going down. Cable TV is going up. Network TV is going down. Local TV is going up, and the radio just slightly is going down. So those are the changes being made. But where are people getting the news today? They're getting it online. A lot of them do in both newsprint and in magazines. And you can see that. Just let me bring in the magazine real quickly, and then we're going to end this, because unless you have something else. But look at the magazines and their influence. Newspapers came first, but then the magazines came. And it's very interesting to see how the magazines have grown. And some magazines are still a lot around, but they've changed a lot. And so Cosmopolitan is one that's been around for a while. Types of magazines that dominate are specialized today magazines. It used to be in the 40s and the 50s, they had these big magazines, Life, Look, Time. Time wasn't as big, but Life and Look certainly were. And they were generalist magazines with great pictures. But what happened in the 40s and the 50s? That changed magazines. Can you think of another kind of medium that came in during that time? Well, radio was up.
Television?
You're right. Good. One A for you right there. Television came in, and television had pictures. Radio, of course, was around, but these thoughtful essays were done, and television came in. And in order to compete with television, magazines had to provide pictures and words. And so it really changed the way. And what happened, though, the generalist magazine went by the wayside, and specialized magazines came in. Minority magazines, trade magazines, alternative magazines, supermarket tabloids, we all know what those are. Men's and women's magazines, entertainment, leisure, sport magazines, so whatever those are. All those kind of magazines came in. And now you have magazines as much as ever before, but they're specialized. So you don't have these big one magazine fits all. Won't do that anymore. So Life and Look, they're kind of gone. Time, I think, is still around, maybe Newsweek. All right, enough of this. I'm going to get us off of that. I just wanted to make sure you're doing well. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to email me. I'll get back as soon as I can. I check the email every day. Tomorrow I'm going to be gone fishing though, so it won't be till the evening that I'll be able to email you back. Tomorrow's Tuesday, and we'll have another meeting next Monday at 10 o'clock. I'll announce that. I'll give everybody a little more time. Maybe that's part of the problem that they're not here this morning, but maybe people just don't need it. But if you do need it, I want to be here for you. For those of you that are watching this, because I'm recording this, I'm going to put up the recording. If you need me to have it at a different time, let me know what a different time would be, because I know some of you work during the day or work certain days and not other days. So let me know what other times you might be available. And if I'm available at that time, I'll try to have another Zoom session. What I don't want to do is answer the same question 14, I think there's 14 people in the class now, 14 times. I really want to answer it once with as many as you that need to hear it as can. For those that you aren't here and watching it on Zoom later, you can email me too. I'm interested. We'll start at 10 o'clock next Monday. If that's a bad time for you, tell me, and I'll try to get a better time. I know a couple of you told me you work during the day, and so it'd be nice to, you didn't think you needed it, but if you do need it, we could make available an evening Zoom session. They don't have to be long, because I know your time is valuable and you're spending a lot of time working on the class. But if you have any questions, ask me in class. If you can't ask me in class, email me and I'll talk to you on the email, and we can talk that way. Good seeing both of you, and hopefully the rest of you will show up. Have a wonderful day. Any more questions from those that are here? You're good? Okay, do this. You got a whole new module for the second module for this week. and do look at the PowerPoints and read through them. They're clues to what you'll find on the tests. Now, you still got to read the book. If you just did the PowerPoint, you wouldn't get through the test. The book is key, but I do want you to know that. And I will, before the test, hand out a study guide, and you'll really need to study that and know it for the test. The test is a pretty long multiple guess test, but it's not until the third week, the end of the third week. So you got, another week and a half before you have to worry about that. All right, since there are no questions, we'll leave now and look forward to talking to you online. And I'll be grading your papers this week, so you get all that done, and that'll be done in the next 2 or 3 days. All right, bye-bye.